Don't turn back. Don't turn back. You've been delivered from so much in your life, and you've come so far. But there's something that happens to us when we come so far from who we used to be, the way things used to be. The further we get from the bondage of our past, the more likely it is that we might actually forget how painful, how restricting some of those chains which bound us back then, back over there. We forget how painful it really was to live in that prison. Don't turn back. Don't turn back. This is actually a true story that I want you to hear. There was a dog who was crossing the street, and this dog was hit by a car. Now, luckily, the dog was not killed. It was just the back legs of the dog were completely crushed and destroyed. So the dog wasn't killed, but now, for the dog to be able to walk, it would throw its front legs in front of it and drag its body across the ground. This is the new way that this dog would get around. However, what's interesting is that this dog was pregnant, and the dog gave birth to all healthy puppies, even though they had perfectly functioning back legs, would throw their front legs in front of them and drag themselves across the ground, just like their mother would. Now, the reason I'm telling you this is because I want you to understand something. Your legs work fine. And I know that sometimes there can be this cloud, this illusion cast over us that there's something wrong with our legs, that there's some disability to us, that there's some reason why we can't push forward through this open door in front of us into this new life. But I'm telling you right now, it's a lie. It's a lie. There's still sometimes this part of us that feels like it would be so much easier to stop walking and go back to throwing our hands in front of us and dragging our bodies across the ground. Why? Because now that you're finally using your legs, now that you've finally broken free in your life, the truth is that your legs don't have muscle built to them yet, because you spent most of your life dragging your body across the ground. So I understand, I get it. Your legs are tired. I know. I assure you, my legs are tired too. I've been using them more than I ever have in my life. And the muscles are quivering because they're still being built. And it's tiring. And sometimes there's going to be this temptation to give up, to lay back down on the ground, throw our arms in front of us and drag ourselves again. But I'm telling you right now, push forward in the truth. Push forward in the truth that your legs are fine. They're growing. The muscle is being gained with every step you take. And I know it's tiring sometimes, and I know it's exhausting, and I know that sometimes weird things happen in our personal realities that we didn't expect and we now have to face. And sometimes these challenges or these things we didn't expect to face trigger us to want to go back to crawling on the ground because we do not know how to face these things without that crutch. But I'm telling you right now that whatever that bondage is that you have been delivered from in your life, don't forget that you were a prisoner to it. And you are walking into a free land. You're walking into the promised land that God has shown you, that God has called you to, of who you really are, the fulfillment of that. But, you know, this is a tale as old as time. This is part of the human battle that we face in our lives. Will we keep moving forward? Will we keep breaking through? to new levels of awareness and awakening and fulfillment and consciousness? Or are we going to go back to sleep? Because sometimes going back to sleep is easier. And hey, you know what? Sometimes we need rest. Sometimes you do need to rest your new legs that you've been exercising and walking on. I'm resting mine right now. But you see, resting your legs doesn't mean you have to lay back down on the ground and start crawling. Sometimes it means just sit down and relax. Rest your legs, but don't go back to flailing your arms. You see the difference in this? Now, this really is a tale as old as time. Because when God delivered his people out of Egypt, when Moses led the slaves out of slavery from Egypt, and they crossed the Red Sea, they were delivered into freedom out of that slavery. And yet, so many of them wanted to go back to Egypt to be slaves again, because this newfound freedom was scary. Their whole lives were this new open door. They didn't know what was going to happen. They didn't know what was coming next, but at least when they were slaves, they knew. They knew, I'm going to wake up at this time, I'm going to be forced to work, and I'm going to get my scheduled beating at 4:30 p.m. today. I'm going to get whipped. You know, nobody really likes beatings, but there's something about when it's a scheduled beating, and it happens every single day, that we start to become comfortable with it, and we actually start to depend on it. But make no mistake about it, the bondage of your past, you might be tempted to go back to letting it beat you and whip you and be under the control of that because it's something that you know, because it's comfortable. But let this message that you are seeing now be a reminder to you. It's bondage. It's chains. It's a prison. And what you're going through in your life right now, you may be tempted to go back to that jail cell because it feels safe and comfortable. But it's not. That's the illusion. That prison is walking you to your spiritual death. But if you walk through this open door in front of you into your new life, and you do not allow these temptations to trick you into going back to the way things used to be, that is the promised land. But you have to walk through the door with your new legs. You have to walk through. You can't crawl through. You have to walk. Thanks. Much love, peace, and blessings to you in your life. And if you know somebody that you feel in your heart would appreciate this message right now, thank you for sending it their way. See you soon.